Hey, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video, and today we gotta talk about an upcoming event happening in Pokemon Go, which you will not want to miss out on. This event is going to be the Legendary Heroes event, and it's going to see the return of a long-awaited legendary Pokemon, Zacian. And it's also going to feature something brand new to Pokemon Go, which is going to allow certain players to get an exclusive Pokemon, which not everyone is going to get. The Legendary Heroes event is going to start on Thursday, September 26th at 10 o'clock a.m. local time, and it's going to go all the way until Tuesday, October 1st at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. These are going to be the event bonuses during this event. You're going to have special trades that will require 50% less Stardust, and any coughing that you evolve during this time will be able to evolve into Galarian Wheezing. There are many implications behind coughing now being able to evolve into Galarian Wheezing, which we'll get into later. So, during this event, there's also going to be a timed research which will allow you to pick either the Sword Path or the Shield Path. Trainers will be able to access free branching timed research that will award items, experience, Stardust, and encounters with event-themed Pokemon depending on which path you pick. The path you choose will also determine which collection challenge you will get and which Pokemon will be attracted to incense for the duration of the event. Now, if you pick the Sword Path, these are the Pokemon that you will see from Incense: Seedot, Scraggy, Gothita, Dino, Swirlix, and Passimian. And if you pick the Shield Path, you're going to see Larvitar, Lotad, Croagunk, Solosis, Spritzee, and Oranguru. Now, between these two paths, I'm personally going with the Shield Path, mainly because I find that some of those Pokemon are just a little bit more useful. More specifically, Larvitar and Croagunk. But it's really going to be up to you. Just know that you cannot switch paths during this event, so make sure you choose wisely. Now, regardless of what path you choose, we're going to have the following wild encounters. Galarian Ponyta is going to be in the wild, along with Coughing, Galarian Darumaka, Grookey, Scorbunny, Sobble, and Skwovet. And then appearing in raid battles, we're going to have Galarian Ponyta, Galarian Darumaka, Goomy, and Jangmo-O in 1-star raids. And then in 3-star raids, we're going to have Turtonator and Drampa. And then in 5-star raids, we're going to have Zacian. And then in Mega raids, we're going to have Mega Gardevoir. Now, obviously, Zacian returning to raid battles is a pretty big deal, considering just how powerful it is for the Master League. And it also can be a decent Fairy Type raid attacker as well. But in 1-star raids, seeing all of those super rare Pokemon with the potential of them being shiny is something you should not ignore. If you have spare raid passes, it might be worth doing a couple of 1-star raids in order to get some of those Pokemon as shinies. And then during this event, we're going to have collection challenges, and like I mentioned earlier, depending on what path you choose, the collection challenge is going to be different, so do keep that in mind. And then there's also going to be field research tasks, which will award you with rare candy, Stardust, and encounters with Galarian Slowpoke. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty simple but pretty exciting event. They're going to be bringing back a couple of Pokemon that players have been wanting, and in general, they're trying out some new things, which I am really excited about. Now, let's talk about Galarian Wheezing and how you can get it during this event by evolving Coughing. There are some crazy implications behind this because you can now get yourself a Shadow Galarian Wheezing, which you were not able to get before. This is going to be available specifically through this event, so if you're lucky enough to have a Shadow Coughing in your collection, you should definitely evolve it so that you can pick yourself up a Shadow Galarian Wheezing. This might be the only opportunity for you to pick up this one Pokemon, so do not miss out on that. This is definitely a time for you to evolve those Shadow Coughing. This kind of makes me want to kick myself because back in the day when Jesse and James were spawning in Pokemon Go, I did not really go all out, so I missed out on getting myself a Shadow Coughing, and I think at one point it was actually a Team Go Rocket leader reward. Yeah, I did not ever suspect that they would allow us to evolve Coughing into getting Galarian Wheezing, so I really do think that for some of you who are lucky enough to still have one in your collection, this is going to be a pretty big deal. Now, I also think it's exciting that we're getting Zacian back in raid battles because for the longest time I've been wanting to get myself a 100% IP of this Pokemon. On top of it being insanely good for the Master League within the Go Battle League, it's also a really cool and unique looking legendary. Zacian is one of those Pokemon that's really good for both PvP and raiding content. I mean, in terms of raid battles, it's definitely not going to be the absolute best when it comes to Fairy type raid damage, but it's definitely up there. if you want yourself a really good Fairy type raid attacker, which there's not many of those in Pokemon Go, then this is a Pokemon you will definitely want to try to pick up. And then in terms of PvP, this Pokemon is considered top tier when it comes to the Master League, mainly because it is incredibly versatile and it's also super effective against the majority of Pokemon that you will commonly see. So you could expect me to raid a whole bunch of these while it is in raids, mainly because I want to get myself a hundo specifically for PvP as well as with raid battles. And also, I'll probably try to get as much XL candy for this Pokemon as well. And something you should keep in mind is that this event is going to see the debut of shiny Zacian, and I do predict that it is going to be one of those high value shinies that people will be requesting with lucky trades. That's definitely something you should keep in mind during this event. If you want yourself a shiny Zacian, then this will be the time to raid for this Pokemon. Considering that this legendary does not appear in raid battles frequently, it is definitely worth going out and raiding during this event, even if you do not care about PvP. As much as I tend to say that in-game events tend to be kind of bland, I do think that this particular event is actually pretty exciting just because of what they are doing with Zacian and Galarian Weezing. I think anytime Niantic has these sort of in-game events, they need to consider what Pokemon they're going to be having as raid battles as well as wild spawns, because that really does set the temperature for how excited players are going to be. And I do think there is a lot of positive buzz behind this event, specifically because of these two Pokemon, and I'm looking forward to seeing just how much the player base ends up enjoying this event. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding this Legendary Heroes event down below. Is there anything in particular you wish was a part of this event? Or are you someone who is extremely excited at the return of Zacian and the ability to evolve Coughing into getting Galarian Weezing? Definitely share those thoughts in the comments down below, and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying it and found it to be insightful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and also don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, I want to give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you could do that is by joining my Patreon. If you choose to do that, you will get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go friends list, and that means for stuff like remote raids and the friendship system, if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you can do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. And with all that said, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.